up Tools in Action. Milwaukee is replacing LED, or not LED, halogen floodlights. Like this, they heat up, they get hot, you get burned. Happens all the time. Milwaukee's come along with this LED system, cool to the touch, super bright. You turn it on and you look at it, and it blinds you. Eric just got blinded, he's the cameraman today. Powered by the M18 battery. Runtime, Eric's gonna write up an article on that. They also have this stick light right here, which is, got a ton of cool features in it. User replaceable glass in case you get some kind of corrosive on it or damage it. Right here, this thing pulls out, so you have a variety of angles that you can do with it. I don't know how he got it to hang like that. But this comes off, this magnet, that's a separate thing you can buy for it. Remains cool, super bright. I don't know, Eric, what do you think?
They're nice, man. I like LEDs.
Pan over here.
With these LEDs.
Yeah, and the cool thing is, halogen lights suck. So these are going to take care of the halogen light. And keep you cool. And I believe you were saying up to like 12 hours of runtime on the stick with an XC battery. Yep. I'm not sure on these. About 3 hours. But I mean, that's awesome. Look, we're working on this wall here. Boom. It's cool. Right now it's got a compact battery on it, and it's still running. So definitely cool stuff from Milwaukee, 2013 Product Symposium. Don't forget to check out Tools in Action. Turn it on.
Okay, you ready?
Holy cow. Turn it on. Man, that thing is bright.
Okay, I'll precursor this. Obviously, there's a lot of ambient light in this room, so we've actually got a hallway back here where all the lights have been turned off and taken out. Very indicative of what a job site's going to look like for an electrician as they're doing new work without having lights on the job site. So after the lights and I show you them all, we'll actually be able to go back there. We can probably split up into 2 smaller groups, and you guys can see what the lights look like in a dark situation. Really get the full impact of how bright these really are. But the lighting market as a whole is massive. If you think of all the types of flashlights and area lights and floodlights that are out in the market, it's huge. Not just on a professional level, but a consumer level and everything in between. Traditionally, Milwaukee has really only had 2 types of flashlights on our 3 platforms. We've had an incandescent bulb work light as well as an LED work light, all on our M28s, M18, and M12 platform. That all changed here beginning of June when we launched the M12 stick light. That's this guy right here. It really is a replacement for not only flashlights, but also this type of light, which I'm not sure maybe it's familiar, but it's considered a stick light. So this light is seen on job sites around the world, mechanics, HVAC, MRO, maintenance type people, plumbers, electricians, all can use a light like this. Very handy, lets you get in tight spaces because of its shape. However, there's a lot of downfalls to a light of this sort. I've got a couple examples here. First of all, is in terms of light output, right? So we don't just want to make a bright light. We want to make a light that has a lot of usable light. We don't want to have a lot of hot spots or faded areas. We want to make sure that beam pattern is really good. These lights struggle in that category across the board. Second of all is the functionality and versatility of these lights. How you can use them in multiple orientations and for multiple types of jobs. Again, these do have some of those features, but not nearly as many as ours. Lastly is the durability piece. Which I'll get into as I talk about the stick light. So I said three very, very common stick lights. You'll see them on the markets here, and we can take those in the room with us so we can see how bright those are as well. But to talk about the first piece, which was brightness and light coverage. So we spent a lot of time designing the reflector plate that's in this light. It gives us a very even, very clean beam pattern. So we don't have a lot of hot spots, and we don't have to keep adjusting this light as we're working. It actually covers a very nice area, gives us a very defined beam pattern. If you can see, it's almost a perfect rectangle. So as you're using this light, if it's being used hands-free, you don't have to keep moving it every little bit to get that beam where you need it. Second of all is the LEDs we put in here. Very high quality LEDs. You can see on this light, lights can have upwards of 50 to 100 low quality small LED lights in this type of light. However, they don't give a very good color. They're very bluish in tone, and for a lot of our users that actually poses a big problem. So if they're looking at wires in an electrical panel, the red wire needs to look red and the green wire needs to look green. If they're changing colors because of the color of that light, that obviously can pose some issues if you're snipping or pulling wires, obviously. So color rendering and color temperature as well as the brightness. This light provides 220 lumens, which is extremely, extremely bright. And like I said, you'll be able to see that in that dark room. The second piece is the versatility, right? These lights, these two obviously can hang vertically. You can hang them on a hook and have them sit there, but that's really it, other than being held in your hand. Our light has that function, so we have the stainless steel hook that can be locked in here, so you can hang it from a hook, nail, or anything that you want, but it also unlocks and extends. So it can be hooked onto a cord if you're working under a vehicle and you're a mechanic, hang it on a brake line or whatever is in your reach, but it also can be pulled back and locked in horizontally. So you can actually illuminate a work surface if you need to hang it above something. So really a ton of functionality besides being able to hold it. You can also lay it flat on its back. So if you're working under a sink and you're a plumber and you need to illuminate all the pipes underneath that sink, it's really easy to set that on the bottom and it'll illuminate that entire cabinet for you. 220. So in terms of functionality, we do a lot that these lights cannot do. The last piece is durability. So as these lights are getting used on job sites, in mechanic shops, wherever, they're going to take a beating. We understand that all of our power tools are meant for the professional. These lights do pretty well in terms of drops. However, you can crack the thin plastic lens cover on them, as well as when they come in contact with corrosive material, brake cleaner, things like that, they fade and they haze really, really bad. And then once that happens, the brightness is gone, they're pretty much useless and they get thrown away. So we've done a couple things. Just like with all of our tools, we have rubber overmold on here that's very corrosive, very corrosive resistant. So those materials aren't going to eat away at this rubber, exposing the inner plastic pieces to those materials. The second wall is the lens plate, impact resistant. So you can feel it's pretty thick when you tap on it. You can drop this thing from a good height, and it's not going to break. However, if it does break, we put a feature in here that's really awesome, and it's actually a replaceable lens plate. So there's 4 screws here in the face. You can take it out, go to any of our service centers for a few dollars, get the replacement face plate on this, and extend the usable life of this light, really protecting the investment of getting it and operate off it. Gives you a very even beam pattern with no hot spots, so you don't have to continuously adjust that light to get the beam where you need it. So very, very impressive. Again, magnetic function, versatility of being able to hang it on this hook. So really, really nice light quality out of the stick. Now, here's the big one. So I don't want to blind anybody, so I'm going to point it up in the air. But here's the M18 floodlight. So a substantial amount of light out of a Ford product. If I shine it down the hallway and got all these people in the face, you can see it'll light up to the very, very end. Give you plenty of light to do what you need to do in the dark, and plenty of runtime, based off.